Hey everybody, welcome back to Champ and Sons and our Formula One series following Sebastian Champion and Champ and Sons Racing, as we are now at the Chinese Grand Prix. This is I think the fifth race or fourth race of the circuit. It is a clear, bright, sunny day here in China, and this is going to be a pretty difficult track as we do have 16 turns. It's just under 3.5 miles long, and there are multiple elevation changes, so passing is going to be difficult. We are going to have to be sure and make moves at the right time. Now, coming into this race, we had a pretty decent qualifying run. And we'll get set up here to see how we stand in just a second compared with the rest of the teams that are out there today. And this is something that we are now on the next gen PS5. So everything from before on the PS4 I didn't transfer over, so I had to simulate those races to get up here. So my previous win in Dubai is... or no, not Dubai, but Bahrain is not included in this series update that we have right now. I just decided to simulate on up and pick up where we left off. So taking a look at where everybody's going to be starting today, we got Hamilton and Bottas, both Mercedes in 1 and 2, Vettel and Ricciardo in 3, 4, Verstappen, Leclerc 5, 6, Perez, our man Sebastian Champion coming in 8th. And then we got some Haas racing coming in. Then there's another, some more Haas and Grosjean. And our teammate qualified 20th, Giuliano Alessi. So not the greatest from his performance, but still it's, I guess, kind of what we expected. So we are starting out in P8 to get this race underway. And we have got a good start here on the first lap. We're going to try to get around this Ferrari pretty damn quick if we can as we come into these first turns. And there's going to be a slight collision coming up as we do take that turn way too wide or try to push it in a little too much and then end up swinging out wide, which is what causes the collision. So not how you want to start a race, but it is what it is. It's done. It's in the past. We are now in P6. All right, moving up 2 spots. All right, we didn't bump them. We didn't nudge them. We rubbed them. Rubbing son is racing, as they say. But P6 coming around, getting ready to be about the halfway point of this first lap and getting the feel of this track on these tires. We did start out with the soft tires. We are planning 2 pit stops on the day, soft, and then 2 sets of mediums after that. Start out with soft, 2 sets of mediums, and these soft tires are not ideal for grip and getting the push that we need to coming out of these turns. And part of that is on me. I'm not hitting the turn how I should. Coming into it a little bit quicker, having to hit my brakes a little too much, and even accelerating at the wrong time. As you can see, some of these turns I did kind of swing out wide a little bit, but I am keeping right up on the tail of Max Verstappen for Red Bull Racing. As we're going to be getting here to the back section of the track, almost getting ready to complete our first lap. And I think if I can time it out right, I can make a move on him and try to get up into the top 5 here under 1 lap already. So we're going to shoot it to the inside. He's going to come down and he collides with us and we go spinning. Ooh, and a couple guys hit each other. There's a massive pile up. Oh man, Ocon just nailed Perez. And our front wing has got to be completely damaged. And that is not, I didn't see that as being our fault. Verstappen came down and nailed us. So we are going to have to change our strategy. Yeah, see, finally they disqualified a man for ramming into him. It's ridiculous. But we are at a point where we're going to have to pit. We're already on the 2nd lap. The one, I guess, positive I could take away from it is we didn't drop anything because everybody behind us went crashing into each other. So now we've got a good gap behind us for the most part, and just some space to make up in front. But our front wing is just completely damaged, unusable. So we're not getting the downforce that we need to get on it, and we're just not able to get as much speed and grip either. And so this is going to put a lot more on these tires as we're coming in to the near the ending of the second lap. We're about halfway through, having to go around because we missed pit lane on that first little accident right there. So that's not what you want to see. I think Verstappen should have yielded that spot, at least that space. Instead, he came diving down and just slammed right into me, causing me to spin. And then, it's just chaos after that. It's everybody else having to come to a complete stop and not being able to time it properly. And then they all just started colliding with each other. Now, if you will notice up on the upper left corner, looking at our positioning, Pierre Gasly in this one is going to be our rival. He is in 8th place. He did get caught up in the accident, but I don't think he had too much damage to his vehicle. And you see me saying box this lap, it's because I was trying to get into the pits. Now the downside is I didn't know where the pits were. See, Lance Stroll, he's also disqualified. Once again, there were some guys that did some shabby stuff, should have been driving better, and that's a quality decision to disqualify him. But I didn't know where that pit lane was, and we should be able to see it coming off pretty quick. But with my front fin, look at it, completely obliterated. My tires are now being just worn out. We have no choice but to get into the pits early, and right now my teammate is in there. So I can't just go diving in, or else I'm going to be stuck waiting because we only have our one pit lane. So we have to kind of manage our stops with each other and our groups and how we actually get in and out of the pits. But at least we are maintaining 6th place. So we do have that going for us. And there's no one else really around us on the track because everybody in front is damage free and everybody behind has had to pit. So, that's, I guess, the one good thing that could become from an accident. If you're looking at a glass half full style, that's kind of where we're at. So coming around, still in the 3rd lap. Hopefully by now, I can't imagine any reason that our teammate would be in the pits. And I guess it's also good in a sense that our original race strategy had gone to open their pit lane for us at around lap 4. And so since we're already on the 3rd lap, we may not have to deviate with an extra stop like we would have if I had gone into the pits appropriately because I knew where they were. But, that's one of the fortunate things about being ignorant, I guess, on your racetrack. So now coming around to the end of lap 3. Now I had finally saw it at the last one, so now we're going to cut into these pits over here. And we're going to get our car repaired. This is going to be a lengthy stop, though, ladies and gentlemen. This is not something. Their standard pit stop should be about 2.5 seconds. 2 to 2.5 seconds for a decent one. But this is going to be a little bit more lengthy. We will have to replace that whole front wing, plus the 4 set of tires. We're looking at the soft ones already worn out about 30+%. So there we go, take that one off, and let's put on this new front wing as we're trying to get in and out. They finally get it screwed on, and we're out in just over 9 seconds, which really, when you look at it, wasn't that bad. So lap 4, we finally get out of the pits, and we got some space to make up if we're going to try to catch P7 and Latifi up there. So we've got a little bit of a ways to go. But, hey, time is on our side, right? Some of the guys from behind us caught up a little bit, but new set of medium tires, new front wing, we should be able to kind of extend that gap that we had in front of them beforehand. Still just coming around making these turns. Got to hit these things in the green. This track, for some reason, I don't know if it was just the way the PlayStation 5 handled or what it was. It just felt a little too different for me, and this being really the first race that I've done on the next gen. Controlling it around these turns seemed to be a little difficult. So, and here we are now up in the 7th lap, 7 out of 28 we are on, and we're still in P8, but we have finally caught Latifi up in the 7th position. And I'm going to be a little bit more calculating with how I try to get around him on this one. As you see, sometimes on these little straightaways coming off turns, he ends up shooting out pretty dang quick and kind of gets a jump on us, which is not what we kind of need, so we got to be careful with it. And I think we're going to try to take him on that outside. Shoot into the inside. We got him. We've got past Latifi. That was a beautiful pass up into P7 on lap number 7 as we now start to extend our way out from him. Since, we qualified in 8th, he was well into the double digits, so we definitely do have a better car setup than what he has got. So all right, now it's just about making gap. We're 11 seconds behind Charles Leclerc and Ferrari. It's going to be a little bit for us to be able to catch up with him. It's not something that's going to happen quickly, but like I said, our tires are good. New set of medium tires. Well, not new; they're a couple laps old, but pretty decent tires. Finally, starting to get a feel for how everything handles. And I think if you look in that upper left-hand corner, we're cutting down, time on them. A couple tenths of a second. I wouldn't say every segment, but close to about half of every lap. So I think if we can keep this pace and keep a clean race, we should be able to actually catch up to Leclerc and hopefully get past that Ferrari and if we can start challenging Ferrari on the track, then I think we're really going to be doing a lot of good stuff as a race team. And this being our first season, that's really what we need to see. So we're going to jump out ahead to the 13th lap now as we have finally caught up to Charles Leclerc. And this is going to be a tough battle to get around him. Like I said, we're on the 13th lap. We had our first pit stop, basically what it would amount to lap 4. So we're cutting it close. We have to try to get around him so we can, try to have the lead as we go into the pits. Because I think we've really only got about one more stop left, and we've got to play that one very carefully. Is what I'll say about that. So coming up just about half a second behind Leclerc at this moment, hitting these turns a lot better now. As you can see, coming through, and our pit window is now open. It says laps 14 to 18. Going to get a brand new set of medium tires, but I cannot lose any space on him right now. Looks like a driver has dropped out of the race, so they call the yellow because he had to pull his car off to the side, and we go immediately green flag racing as we get past him. So here we are on one of the small little straightaways, coming into one of these 16 turns that they seem like they're wide turns, but they have short either entrances, like tight entrance, or a tight finish. And so that's kind of one of the hard things that it is to get used to on this track, is the entry and the exit of these turns without wearing down too much on the tires and maintaining our speed. And so still coming up, we're just narrowing that gap. We're staying about half a second, but we're cutting it off. It's fluctuating right now between 0.4 to 0.6 seconds from behind him. I think we can really get him on these turns. That's going to be our best bet. As I'm going to try to take him to the inside on this one. He's going to come down and cut us off as we're not able to do it then, and he kind of pushes himself out a little bit, extending his lead just slightly. Just at about 0.2 of a second, give or take, 100th of a second, really. But this straightaway, we've kind of caught him, so we're going to shoot to the inside. He hit the brakes early. We hit him hard and late, but man, we were able to make that one happen. As we get past him, now it's just maintaining our position. Try to extend our lead off of him. I'm going to give it another lap to try to build that, as Leclerc will actually go into the pits. I did not see that coming, but he did go in. We extend, so we're going to be able to extend that lead, and we're only a couple seconds behind Max Verstappen now. So once again, on lap number 15, we now have a chance to possibly try and qualify for a top 5 spot. That's what we need. That's the type of racing setup that we need to have happen to try to start earning these points that, basically I lost during the simulation to get up to this stage of the season. So, all right, coming around these turns, still, Verstappen, Red Bull Racing and Verstappen's got a pretty damn good car. Every time we catch up to him, he starts pushing it out on the straightaway, but that's one thing that's kind of been a focus of ours with the aerodynamics of the car and the chassis itself, is being able to get in and out of turns quickly and promptly. So that's where a lot of us, we make up our positioning. And as you can tell, we did go through our second stop, but we are still in P6 right now with Charles Leclerc well behind us, but still trying to catch. No longer is it Max Verstappen. He's already moved on. We're trying to catch up to Daniel Ricciardo of Renault Racing, and we have Sebastian Vettel in our sights too, only a couple seconds ahead of him. But we only have 3 more laps to go. This is lap number 25 of 28 as we are bringing it into the home stretch of this race. That's coming as just narrowing that gap. These turns, this one has been one of the biggest pains coming out of it, hitting this sharp turn. And these seem like they're easier S turns to go through and to get in and out of, but they're not. It's careful braking and acceleration that comes into these straightaways, which is where a lot of the times the CPU's getting the jump on us is coming out of all of these turns. Now, we should have a pretty decent straightaway. If we can close this gap on this turn, we may be able to get into a top 5 position here with only a couple laps left. As we got this fine back straightaway, and Ricciardo's actually starting to pull away, but if we can get in that little draft section, we can close him out and be able to maintain this position and just keep that gap coming in as he hits his brakes hard. We have to hit ours because I'm not slamming into him again. One wreck is enough for us during the race. But if you can see, he's right there. It's going to take some timing, and I think we can definitely get past him on the next turn. But if we can help him close that gap to Vettel too, we can try to get a 2-for-1 special here with 2 laps to go in this race. As first turn comes around, we're going to, once again, I told you, we're going to close up on him. And Ricciardo's got to hit his brakes hard. We almost bump him on that one. We are coming into lap traffic, so that should help us. If I can get him stuck behind one of those lap cars, I think we can get that push behind and get past him real quick and actually make some space if we can get him stuck as we shoot into the inside, holding the spot tight. He's not giving it up. And we finally are able to push him out of that position, and we'll take a top 5 spot here on the 26th lap, only 2 more to go. And if we can just get around this man and let him pin Ricciardo back behind us, we'll widen that gap even more. Sebastian Vettel's the next one in our sights. As you can see, him and his red Ferrari car right up there. Only a little over 2.5 seconds ahead of us. But we can easily make up that space. And if you saw me check right there, that was Ricciardo getting stuck behind the lap traffic. That is exactly what we needed to have happen. As you can see, he's now well over a second behind us. And we are catching up slowly to Vettel in the P4 spot. And this is going to be a mad dash to the finish. Only 2 more laps to go. Lap 27 and 28. As we're coming down that back straightaway, hoping to try to close off some space. But it looks like Vettel and that Ferrari is just maintaining and even actually slightly widening his gap on those straightaways. So coming up, we may need to start working on our powertrain to get the actual power that we need out of this vehicle. We hit those turns pretty solid, and that's kind of always been our focus. And you can see now he's less than 2 seconds ahead. So P4, 2 laps to go. This is what we're shooting for, which is not too bad when you start thinking about going 180 degrees on a turn in lap number 1 and having to have your whole front fin replaced. So now we're coming around these last set of turns here in the first section of the track. Still maintaining about 1.5 seconds. This is not something that's easy. We are giving it our all. We are coming into these turns a little bit too hard. I'm trying to take them slightly fast to where it's not just a green marker. It's kind of between that yellow and green, so we still have some form of control. And this turn, we come flying through as we nailed that one perfectly, but we did not come into this next one as smooth. And we swing out a little bit wide, which causes us to hit our brakes. But even then, we maintain going wide a couple more times. So now once again, still 1.5 seconds. This is not something that I said happens immediately. This is one of those patient type of games. Still maintaining top 5 position though, so we have gained 3 spots in this race from where we started, which I guess is not bad considering the wreck that we got in at lap number 1. And we have also, one thing we have also done is we've managed to complete the fastest lap in the race a couple different times. So we have still maintained that number. It doesn't give us points, but it shows us we got a pretty damn good car. Now here comes the final turn of lap 27. Getting ready for the final lap of this race. We're going to try everything we can to get past Vettel, but we have got to race a perfect lap. And here we go. Lap number 28. We close in on him, and we kind of shove him to the outside, and we cut down. We need to just keep pushing him, and we get past him. He is on our backside at this moment. We have moved up into P4. We're a top 5 position here in the last lap of the race. That one was an intense push all the way through that turn, maintaining our line, not wrecking him or us, but still being aggressive on it. as we are now trying to get back up to Verstappen, but that's a 2-second gap to close in one lap. That would be almost unbelievable if it actually did happen. But we are still pushing 4th spot here. We have gained our top 5 positioning, all in this last lap, getting right past Sebastian Vettel, showing Ferrari Racing that Champ and Sons Racing is something to be messed with. We will be a force in this league and on the track as well. Now you can see Valtteri Bottas actually crosses the line as a race winner, and it looks like Hamilton came in at 2nd place. So look, the crowd's just waiting on us and Verstappen. 30 seconds behind to finish as we come past some of the lap traffic. Now that would have been my best chance to get past Verstappen right there on that turn. This one, we saw what happened the last time I tried to get past him. He just hammered straight into us. And so we will take the checkered flag in 4th spot, a top 5 position. That was almost flawless racing after the lap 1 incident. Could not ask for a better performance from the team. Now they are going to give it to Nicholas Latifi, I guess, because he was further back. And now, to be fair, with the accident, it allowed him to push up. But, hey, it is what it is. You take advantage of things where you can. So Valtteri Bottas and Mercedes will take the winning podium. Hamilton with Mercedes also will come in at 2nd. And then Max Verstappen was able to hold us off and keep us at bay as he gets the 3rd spot on the podium right there. And so those are the biggest teams we have to compete with going forward. We're going to need more money, obviously, thrust into our team and into our league. So we got to have a lot more better performances. But it's one of those things that, man, we're going to have a lot more money to compete with these guys. And that's just the way of Formula One racing. All right. So we finally earned a press interview after a race. So let's see what they have to say. Gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you? Yeah, I mean, I did. I'll say that. These responses are really, who do you want to give the credit to? Some of them will be chassis. The one that's highlighted right now is for the powertrain department. Give them some credit. It just kind of builds. It's like a team building type thing. Really looked and control your car out there. Your team must be thrilled. And this is one of those things. I'm going to give it to everybody. Give the acclaim to everybody. Don't just, put it on one spot or one position or one department. Things were close between me and Pierre. Rivalries in the sport bring out the best. I'm just not ready to start an intense, hated rivalry. This is only our 4th race of the season. It's just not something where we need to be yet. It wasn't the cleanest race, and that statement sums it up. None of us want to be the one to back down. So you have that happen. Eventually, things are going to occur. So, all right, that is where I'm going to leave y'all off. Now, I do want to remind you to hit that subscribe button if you have not already, and hit the thumbs up button if you did like today's video as well. And don't be afraid to hit that little bell notification icon to be notified of all the Champ and Sons content that we will be uploading to our channel in the future. So thank you for joining us, everybody. And we're going to go ahead and kind of work on some business stuff to get the schedule worked out, as we will see y'all the next time in the Dutch Grand Prix. So thank you for joining us once again. And as always, stay safe, everybody. And, well, you know how it goes. Later, y'all.